The only podcast with a completely original opening line for every show. This is Bombers.
Hey, this is Bombers. Speaking here as your host is Bomber number 3, Xiaber. Also with me is Bomber number 5, Deeg, Anthony.
This is so weird. I don't know how to react to this. Are we in an alternate universe or something? What's going on?
No, you react to it by simply reacting to it. I don't really understand the issue here.
I don't know what to do. What do I do with my hands?
I'm not going to answer that. Because I'm the only one that would see you do anything. So, yeah, welcome to Bombers. We got great stuff to talk about.
Do we?
We were able to get one person at least to give us new questions for Bombers Notebook, so we're really excited about that.
Thank you, person.
Thank you, person. But I guess I should move on to everyone's favorite segment of the show. You know,
yeah?
Bombtastic News.
Oh, I love this segment. Oh, this is the best.
You know, the news that's bombtastic.
Yeah, he said the line.
Yes, I did. So anyway, as usual, we still have our website, ThisIsBombers.com, where you can get to know everything about us. And from there, you can see our About section. You can see that we have a Discord. There's also a link in the description below for you to join us and talk and enjoy. Haven't really talked about like how we do fun stuff in there, like game club and exercise fitness club.
Call it what it is.
The ring
fat
adventure. Yes. And lately we've been getting to Final Fantasy 14, so feel free to get in our Discord and join us online in the Goblin, I think, something like that.
Call it what it is. I genuinely have no idea what it is, so I was hoping that...
Do we even... I don't think we have a channel for it, do we?
No, I was just like something Goblin. It's like Elysium or something like that. I don't know.
No, it's Goblin. That's the server.
Well, aren't there two different names? It's like something Goblin or Goblin something.
I mean, I think Crystal is the...
Crystal Goblin.
Database. Whichever one has Goblin on it, because I'm pretty sure Goblin is in multiple databases.
I don't know how Final Fantasy works, so...
Don't listen to me. Works.
Don't listen to me.
Anyway, also, we have a Gmail account, so thisisbombers@gmail.com. If you have any questions or fan art or fan fiction you'd like to send our way, that is one method of doing it. You can also just, post it on Discord and such too. Post it on, hey, you also at our Twitter account, This Is Bombers, and share that kind of stuff. Go ahead and do it. Why not?
It's a really great Twitter account with a lot of awesome content. You should check it out.
Yeah, it will tell you whenever one of our podcast episodes releases.
There's probably other things on there.
Maybe.
There's nothing else on there, is there?
No. I mean, you can see you can see in the past lovely pictures of us in Metopia.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah, it was the most content ever on that Twitter account.
We are not very good at Twitter.
No, even on my regular Twitter, I usually just retweet things.
I think that I technically have a Twitter account that I don't even retweet. I never even go on Twitter to read other people's Twitter things.
I love lately on Twitter, I quote tweeted Final Fantasy 3's like 35th anniversary or something like that, talking about how I enjoyed the job system in the game and such. And a few hours later, I saw Shay retweet the Final Fantasy anniversary saying this game sucked. I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he only saw that tweet because of my quote tweet of it.
Probably with as many people and accounts as he was blocking.
Yeah. So also we have a lovely Twitch account at ThisIsBombers or twitch.tv/ThisIsBombers, something like that.
ThisIsBombers.tv/Twitch.
Yes.
Don't go to that website. It's not real.
Someone might make it. Who knows?
But
anyway,
twitch.tv/ThisIsBombers is totally real.
If you want to see us play video games 3 out of 7 times of the year,
That's not
then
exactly correct, but
that's where you go. We
but
survive. We something Tuesdays, and we
community night.
commune, camarader with us on Thursdays.
At some point, there were supposed to be Xiber Wednesdays, but
Final Fantasy 14 has taken up that, but that'd be really boring to just watch me go through the story of 14.
yeah, but
Whenever Kebby is available to play regularly on 14, then we could like stream dungeons and such. That would probably be a bit more entertaining.
I don't know. I feel like you streaming Final Fantasy on Wednesdays at least sets a precedent that there's content on Wednesdays, and people will just show up just for background noise, if nothing else.
Okay, but
I feel like
this-
that's half the reason people show up to half our streams anyway, is for background noise.
I mean, I'm pretty sure on Thursdays they show up to listen to us complain about golfing.
We do play a lot of golfing on Thursdays.
It's so fun. Well, like last Wednesday, Haley and I ended up just watching all the new episodes of Young Justice, so I had no time to stream anything.
Fair enough.
And finally, the last thing that you can learn about on our website, ThisIsBombers.com, is that we have a Patreon where, with your money, you can either become an acquaintance, a friend, or a best friend of the show.
Now, Zyber,
Yeah?
what do all of those mean?
Well, see, if you're an acquaintance, you get to join our Only Friends channel on our Discord, where sometimes we post pictures of cats or dogs or capybaras, or sometimes even stuff that we're doing mid-podcast recording. Sometimes. Not all the time. Only when it matters. And if you give us even more money, instead of minimum $1, if you give us minimum $5, you can be friends of the show, where that will give you the same Only Friends Discord channel on our server, but also other stuff.
But also, you get access to the micro podcast pre and post show.
Yeah, that.
And you get increased voting power whenever we do voting for community nights.
Do.
I said that. And, double and, multiple ands, in fact. Now we're probably going to be upping our guest game, and friends of the show, best friends of the show, get first dibs on guest spots on the podcast.
Yep. And best friends of the show get even higher priority on things.
Yep.
So shout-outs to our current best friends of the show, Anne and Rob, and our friends of the show, Haley, Aaron, Minted Peas, and Reaper.
And the final tier that you didn't mention, you missed one there, Zyber. It's very important that we talk about this every episode.
The executive bombducer. For those insane enough to give us $100 a month, you can be an executive bombducer where you get all of that. Plus, you get to join in on our recording booth and get to watch/listen to us record the episodes
live.
No, not in the past. That'd be pointless. Or future, whatever.
We just queue up old episodes in a music bot. And,
It's like, have fun.
Here you go.
24-hour Bombers podcast.
You joke, but I have data on this. Let me pull this up real quick, because it's pretty ridiculous.
All right, I'm ready to be ridiculed.
No, it's ridiculous. All told, if you listened to all of the Bombers content from Season 1, Episode 1 pilot to, what do I have this?
Episode 16?
I think that's, Episode 15, which is, I believe, last week's episode of Season 4. There is 104 hours of just wonderful, delicious audio pleasure for your ear holes.
Oh, that's less than a week. Also, that is missing the last episode. Last episode was 16.
Oh, well, is it? Well, then I'll update it, but that adds roughly close to another hour, so it's 105. Don't know how many hours are in a week. How many hours are in a week, Xiber?
Well, there's 72 in 3 days, so if we were to add another 24, that would be almost 100. So it's less than 5 days.
24 times 7 says 168, so we're getting close to a week's worth of content. We're getting close, Xiber.
Yeah, we just need
A
50
couple more
more
seasons.
weeks.
Yeah.
1 more year.
Yeah, that's fine. That's easy. That's doable. Let's do it.
All right.
I have now misplaced our script. There it is. I found it.
What is a
next.
script?
Well,
Anyways, that was bombastic news.
And now, completely unscripted, I will be segueing us into the upcoming releases segment. Just off the top of my cuff, off the cuff of my hat, off the sleeve of my pants.
But, Anthony, you're not wearing clothes.
Well, don't tell them that. They need to be executive bombducer to figure that out. Alright, upcoming releases. Here's the games that are coming out this next week. And by games, I mean game, because there's really only one that's even worth talking about. The other one was a re-release, and literally that's it. There's nothing happening. However, on Thursday, 5/5, what is that, May? May is this coming up month? May is,
yes.
We're in May now?
Yes.
Wow, where did April go? May 5th, Thursday, Trek to Yomi is getting released on PlayStations 4 and 5, all the sex boxes in the Xbox One, and on PC. I think this looks really cool, Xiber. Trek to Yomi.
It's that 2D samurai thing?
That side-scroller 2D
Devolver
samurai
Digital.
looking from Devolver Digital that only just recently, like in the recent past, even got announced. I think it was like during a PlayStation Direct or something like that. A PlayStation Live State of Play? I don't know what they call them.
Save 10% on Trek to Yomi on Steam.
Ooh. It looks really cool. The aesthetics of it are very intriguing. And, samurai stuff, so that's neat. And this comes out on Thursday. I think it's... Yes, it is also coming to Game Pass, so I might just play it on Game Pass, honestly.
This is the game where it's all like, we burned down your village while you were distracted praying or something.
So like most samurai games, honestly.
Yep. Now he must take his revenge, like in Taken.
Sure. Except he's a samurai, not Liam Neeson.
Close enough.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty close, actually. In a weird kind of way. But this looks like a cool game. I'm pretty interested in playing it. It has really good looking presentation on it with the black and white, and yet still like high quality graphics as opposed to a lot of other black and white games like Limbo.
Yep, that game that I can remember.
Yeah. This looks good. So if you have an interest in...
It's made in Unreal Engine, so it is going to look good.
Yeah, exactly. If you have an interest in samurai stuff, if you have an interest in side-scroller action stuff, if you have an interest in Devolver Digital, you've got plenty of reason to check out Trek to Yomi, coming out on Thursday.
On every console but Switch.
On every console but Switch.
And Google Stadia.
Well, nothing comes out to the Google Stadia.
And the Ouya.
Wow. That's... Forgot about that.
And yet we used to talk about it on our podcast.
Well, it used to be funny, and now it's just kind of sad.
Such is life.
Such is life. That which is... What is it? Well, that's not true. I was going to say tragedy plus time equals comedy, but it was funny before.
It just reminded me of in middle school, some kid would always have this shirt on that said, like, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt, then it's hilarious.
Yep. I remember those. Anyway. That's the upcoming releases. That's the only one. The upcoming release, I guess. Shall we move on?
I mean, yeah, there's nothing else to talk about, is there?
I don't know. Do you have anything else to talk about?
This is not like a state of play or whatever. We're not gonna be all like, finally announcing something or other.
Coming soon to the Nintendo Switch.
Coming out today. Look at the eShop.
Coming out later.
Now look back at me.
Later today on the Nintendo eShop, you can download the demo for Xiber's Adventures.
Later today, you can download Splatoon 2. You could have already done that, but you can also do it later today.
Can do it later today. You're not wrong. Just unhelpful. Speaking of being able to download things off of eShop, there was an article that was posted by anime.com, which I'm just now realizing is a pun, as I say it out loud.
NME.
Enemy.
No,
enemy.
No more eagles.
Never mattered anyway. Anyway? Nah, that didn't work.
Anyway,
Anyways,
they made an article.
There's an article posted. Sega is going to delist the original Sonic games, like the originals up through Sonic and Knuckles, from e-stores because Sonic Origins, the Origins collection, is coming out. So the only way to experience any of the old Sonic games other than already owning them is to get the
remakes,
remastered Sonic Origins collection.
Which even says in the subtitle, Sonic Origins is priced at €33, which is more than the collection's original games currently cost.
Yeah, if you bought all 4 of the games that I think it's like 4 or 5 of the games that they're delisting, you're still looking at like, what, $20, and this...
Although is Sonic CD even viable anywhere?
Is it? That's actually an interesting question. I don't remember seeing it on any eShops. Yeah, it's Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, Sonic 3, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD are all being delisted because they're all included in the Sonic Origins pack. Now, this article did helpfully point out that 1 and 2 is still playable via the Sega Ages collection. 2 is currently on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service. However, when it comes to Sonic 3, Sonic 3 Knuckles, Sonic CD, that's it. The only way to get them going forward is to already have them, to purchase them in the original cartridge form. Oh man, I'm channeling Xiber. Or to get Sonic Origins. So,
yeah.
That's and the Sonic Origins is the remastered version. It's not going to be the original.
Yeah, like you can play as Knuckles in the not 3 games.
Yeah, so this is
That's exactly like when Square Enix took down the Final Fantasy games in preparation for their remastered things. Yeah. It's just all like, wow, screw the people who already bought the existing games.
Basically. Or like when the GTA trilogy released and Rockstar delisted those games and then put them back up because the GTA trilogy remaster was
terrible. At least they put it back up then. Holy crap.
Because the terrible backlash that they got out of the garbage that was that remaster. So I mean, like, hopefully Sonic Origins is at least a good remaster, but nonetheless,
I can't imagine it being that bad.
It's worked on by the same people that did Sonic Mania, so should be good. Sonic Mania was good. Nonetheless, this is a real blow against, video game
preservation.
Game preservation, historical, blah blah blah. It's a real shame for people that actually care about the history of gaming.
Like, I really don't see an issue in, like, having the older versions of games just be all like, here's a compiled version that should technically be better. It's like, yeah, the article's all like, oh, the Origins cost more. It's like, well, yeah, that makes sense. They just put effort into making this.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that it costs more and they want money, so they're going to delist the other one so that you don't just buy the cheap version. That's all it is. It's basically greed.
Yeah.
Kind of lame.
No me
Meanwhile,
gusta.
yeah, no, exactly. Meanwhile, over at Sony, with the PlayStation line of games, they have announced that they have created an actual game preservation team made up of actual Sony employees, like a full-on segment of business that is completely centered around the idea of game preservation and historical archiving of old games.
Which is good news to me, because if it means that there's going to be more games on their, whatever it's called, subscription thing.
Yeah, whatever. What are they calling it? PlayStation
Spartan
Essentials?
something.
It's not. That was the original name. It's not that dumb name anymore.
But yeah, like more PS1, 2, PSP, 3 games, the better.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, good.
Well, I see that like people see this and they're all like, does that mean that they're going to work on getting PS3 games to be emulatable? I don't know. That still seems like a lot of work to do that.
I mean, and also there's a difference between straight game preservation and allowing customer emulation thereof. Like, preserving something doesn't mean that you can just have it. Like, the original cut of the Star Wars movie is preserved in the Library of Congress. You can't really buy that anywhere. You can go watch it by appointment at the Library of Congress, but it's not for sale. It's the difference between preservation and, I don't know, consumption, I guess, would be the word I would use there.
I guess that's a good question, though, is that what do they mean by preservation? Like, do they mean that they're going to have games like, they're going to make sure that they never get deleted or anything like that? Or are they going to, like, try to make games preserved in the sense that no matter what future device, the games can still be played on it? Because that could also be a version of preservation.
Yeah, there's no full announcement that I was able to hunt down yet. The best that we have is that there's a post on LinkedIn by a senior build engineer at PlayStation, name of Garrett Fredley? I don't know.
Fredley.
Who posted, here, I'll just real quick run through. Today's my first day as senior build engineer, working as one of the initial hires for the newly created preservation team. Game preservation was my first career passion. It was my first foray into the world of software engineering, DevOps, and into a world that so many are unaware of. I was just a novice back then, contributing any way I could, regardless of my inexperience. Now I'm back to it, no longer the novice I once was. Thank you, Mike Bishop and the team, for bringing me on board for this adventure. Let's go and ensure our industry's history isn't forgotten. So, that's not a lot to go by, but we can pick at it a little bit. Mostly that final sentence, which says, let's ensure our industry's history isn't forgotten, which does imply a focus on straight actual preservation, not maybe necessarily monetization thereof.
So I'm looking at he shared the description of his role basically. Is that we have a really interesting, exciting, unique technical opportunity within the team right now. The day-to-day focus is on IP preservation for the business, ensuring the titles of today are captured, cataloged, and secured for the games industry of tomorrow. So, to me, that means that it isn't just, to hold in a library forever. It's to be used somehow in the future. Just don't really know necessarily used how.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily say that they're going to sell emulations or ISOs or whatever you want to call it to sell versions of these games, but it also doesn't seem to mean that they're just going to put it in a library and hide it. It could be using those prior games, the prior code libraries in the games, to inspire or build off of for new projects in the future, perhaps. I don't know. It's cool though. I'm glad that they are actually showing some form of public presentation, like PR, whatever. But Sony seems to be giving a care about game preservation, much in a way that Microsoft has made those overt sort of gestures in the direction of caring about game preservation, which is nice to see coming off the back of the closure of the PSP stores and the PS3 and all those stores where people were like, oh, what about game history? And it's like, we had this conversation on the show even of the whole, you can't just keep that storefront up forever. You're just looking at ballooning costs for keeping that infrastructure in place. And there was some backlash on that in the public eye of the loss of game preservation. Well, here you go. They heard that. They're doing something. The store won't exist because that's silly to expect that to just continue ad infinitum. But the games that are on there, there's a team now that's in charge of preserving that stuff. Cool, great, awesome.
Yeah, it's just so new that we'll just have to wait for Sony to do some kind of announcement to say, like, what does this mean?
Yeah, what are we actually gonna get out of this in the future?
Because imagine, like, even if it's not something for the players and such, they should eventually make an announcement, at least for stakeholders or shareholders. Like, what is the point of this team? So
yeah, absolutely, because it's a full team of paid employees that they now have to.
So at some point, we will have an idea of what they're doing.
Yeah, whenever that ends up being, we couldn't tell you.
But
we'll get an idea eventually.
Either way, it's the bomb. It's definitely not a bomb, and no matter what they do, preservation is good.
Yeah, at least they're doing something, and not actively destroying game history like apparently Sega is. So, good for you. Good for you, Sony. Good for you.
It reminds me of how apparently like PT on the PlayStation 4 that was taken down and such, but technically people who got it before it was taken down can still play it, and they could even transferred to PS5 because of backwards compatible. Apparently, PlayStation was asked to please do not allow PT to be backwards compatible on the PS5 because the Konami just really wants that game out of existence.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird IP stuff going on there in general. Whatever. Screw you, Konami. But that's my take on that.
Yeah.
Those are the bombs.
Those are the bombs. I guess.
A-bomb, A-bomb, V-bomb.
The bomb.
The A-bomb?
No, that's completely different.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to offend you. Shall we answer some more questions?
No.
Oh. No, you're supposed to go yes and. That's how this works. Yes and.
No, well, I find it more funny to go against the flow.
Shall we not answer more questions?
Yes.
Wait a minute. No, you're supposed to... Wait. Ow. No, the logic of the... Anyways, we got some Bomber's Notebook questions, Xiber.
Yeah, we do. Everyone's favorite segment of the show, Bomber's Notebook, where the notebook bombers.
That's not really how that works.
First question is from Rumor, and it is... If you could be any flavor of ramen, what flavor would you be?
You gotta say it. You gotta say it in English, actually. Wait, how do you say that?
Flavor.
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 That's in English. Flavor. What's your favorite flavor of ramen?
I'm pretty sure that's not English. Okay.
That's English.
Anyway, my answer is the spicy chicken.
That's a good answer.
Yep.
Good answer. Good answer. If I could be any flavor of ramen,
you would be the everything flavor, probably.
I feel like I would just be the normal chicken, just like the boring base level ramen.
Wow. Would it just be a boring version of me?
Yeah, I feel like that's how this podcast works. I am the boring version of Xiber on the show. I might as well be the boring version of Xiber in the ramen world too.
Don't really have an answer to that.
You have no response, no follow up.
No, I mean
you're supposed to. Xiber,
it's all true.
You're supposed to yes and. Yet we're doing that. It's an improv thing where you yes and. I say something and then you go, that, but also. It's carry on with the...
You're still
She
not speaking
asks,
English.
have you ever played/enjoyed games with randoms on voice? And if so, would you want to try it again?
So for those who don't know, this Oshi is asking if we played like multiplayer games with random people in a voice chat or microphone setup, whatever, so that we can hear each other.
As opposed to only being in a voice chat microphone setup with friends in like a quote-unquote party.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you're giggling. I want to know what the story is now.
So there's like two different things here. So at one point my sister was visiting and she's super into Apex Legends. So she's all like, Xiber, let me play on your PlayStation. I go, all right. So like she's playing and we're all just like huddled around watching her. There's like, I don't know, 6 of us, I think. And so she's like, so there's a party of 3. The third person is like completely dead. She is down, and then she dies. And then we're watching the last person remaining, and we're just like commenting about like how terrible a job they're doing. We're just like, come on, pick up the dead people boxes so you can revive them, or like at least kill someone instead of this weird thing of just walking back and forth and not knowing what to do, basically, and such. And so eventually they die, and then I realized. The PlayStation camera was acting as a microphone.
So they heard everything that you said.
They heard the entire group complaining about the way they were
like
playing.
6 people judging their gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, assuming that they didn't have us muted or something, but it was a funny thought. Similarly, at one point, Haley and I were playing. There was a multiplayer a separate game off of Final Fantasy 15, and we were playing together, and some random person was actually playing this like 4-year-old game that no one plays anymore, and joined our group. And we found out that the PlayStation 5 controller automatically acts like a microphone. You have to manually tell it not to. And so yeah, they were hearing us for a bit too.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either, because at one point I was playing Borderlands with a friend. One was on PS5, one was on PS4, and in the same room, and the microphone turned on the controller. It's like, hey, we don't need that.
We're sitting next to each other. Please stop.
Yeah.
I generally speaking, almost without exception, at least mute my mic whenever I'm doing any multiplayer things, and 95% of the time will just mute all of my teammates if they start talking, because I don't want to hear random people saying, I don't know, just awful, terrible swears and curses and racist crap that happens on online games for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life. However, there are exceptions. I remember back when Overwatch first came out, and even for like a year after that when it was still relevant, I would play that a bunch and just like randomly voice chatting with teammates. I mean, it's a very team intensive game, but it is through playing Overwatch and, getting drunk that I met Admiral Plays.
Wow.
We all know Admiral. Admiral and I became friends from just randomly playing as randoms on voice in a game. So sometimes it pays off and you meet a good person.
Yeah, I do remember people, our age saying how back in the day in high school and college they would somehow make online friends like that, which kind of still blows my mind.
Yeah, can you imagine being in high school and just like going online and like, for instance, I don't know, posting random messages on a video game related website and then becoming friends with those people?
Okay, but like that makes more sense than a short amount of time of playing a game online with people.
Well, if you team up with someone that you hit it off with and you're like, hey, you want to keep playing? Let's team up. And then you keep playing, and then it turns out that you've spent a few hours and you're like, hey, let's send friends. Maybe we'll play again later. And then you do that for the next year. So suddenly, oops, I guess you made a friend.
I was like, every now and then I would get friend requests from people that were like in the same lobby as me in Splatoon, and I would just accept them just because, whatever. I
I mean, it's
literally
Nintendo.
had I've literally had none of them rejoin me whenever I'm playing, even if I see that they're online. So it's just like, what was the point of friending me then?
Yep, that happens a lot too, which is why I generally ignore those ones. Unless it's someone that I've actually talked with and, interacted with. Why are you sending me a friend request? I don't know you.
Yeah.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Well, it's like, oh yeah, it was fun playing with you. If you ever show back up in my lobby, it'd be fun to play with, even without voice chat. Which, like, everyone complains about Splatoon not having voice chat. I'm just like, I'm happy because no one would ever want to play with me again after me yelling at them for sucking.
And also, let's be honest, as pointed out, most of the time I just end up muting everybody anyway, so
yeah.
I'm playing in a no voice chat lobby as it is.
Oh, it's
so
great.
It's fine.
So, as I've said multiple times before, my dad is a huge into Call of Duty, and there was one point where he would play with his cousins and his cousins' kids, who at the time were like middle school or something, so, prepubescent voices and such. It was always fun to him that he'd, talking his deep voice, and they'd be responding back like, thanks, person.
Yeah.
So at this point, he also just mutes everyone besides him and his cousins who are still playing.
And then the follow-up to Oshi's question here, would you want to try it again? Honestly, I think at this point, part of it is I'm just old and I don't have the energy or patience to make friends anymore.
I just don't really play games that have that option.
Yeah, kind of that. But, like, back in the day, yeah, sure, I'll goof around in voice and whatever. Nowadays, I'm just here to play a game. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm playing with my friends. If you really want to be on voice chat, just come and join the Bombers Discord, because that's where we are.
I guess it is, like, a bit fun to, like, type out stuff in Final Fantasy XIV when playing a dungeon with people. I would probably be less fun if we were actually voicing it, though. With randoms, I mean.
Anonymity is your friend there, Xiber? You saying mean things to people in text format?
Oh my gosh. I mean, there was this one tank.
It wasn't Kebby, was it? Because that's mean.
No, it was just this random level 50 tank that was doing everything wrong. And it's like, how did you even get this far?
How did you get here?
It took like an extra hour to finish a dungeon almost. I wanted to go eat. The food was getting cold.
Oh boy. So, hopefully that answers your question, Oshi. We got pretty into it.
Yeah. And there's also another question here from Oshi. Brand
Oshi
new,
again?
off the press.
Yeah, what is it?
Sorry, I was checking a Bombot update. Anyway, this question is, are there any changes you're planning on making to scheduling or content in general now that there is just two of us?
Yes, now that there is just two of us.
Because people have actually paid attention to the last line of the last episode. That is now two of us instead of three.
Plus, there was the announcement in text format on the Discord.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Well, one big content change is that for now, Bombers is just two hosts, Bomber number 5 and Bomber number 3, and there is no Bomber number 1 right now due to the retiring.
The number has been retired, yeah.
That is a change in content. It's just me and Xiber for now, which also brings on the change that we are going to be working on, bringing in more guests. On a more regular basis, if we can.
Sometimes we get tired of just talking to the two of us.
I'm already tired of just talking to you, Xiber.
I mean, it's been like over a month.
About that. As far as like scheduling and other stuff like that, not really, because a lot of the Twitch content was still just me and Xiber.
And also, like, our recording and release dates were picked not just because of the three of us deciding it's best, but just in general, this is the best time for us anyway.
Well, I mean, it was because the three of us decided it was the best, which means that also Xiber and I were involved in deciding that it was the best. So yes. It works for the two of us because it worked for the three of us. and it's better, it's cleaner to not shake things up too much,
Yeah, yeah, we already have a few applications for bombers like 6, 7, and 8. Still thinking
Do we?
about it.
Why didn't I get CC'd on those memos?
Because I figured you wouldn't care.
What? I care the most, okay?
Well, you said you were done talking to me.
You know what? That's fair, and I walked into that one. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Here's another Oshi question. Would you revive the section of the podcast where you answered our questions if we started regularly asking questions again?
Didn't we already answer that like 2 episodes ago?
Did we?
I thought we did.
Well, anyways, yeah, the answer is yes. As you can see, we're here answering them. Question from Rumor. Would the audience's questions be meaningful in any way? I mean, why start now?
Hopefully they would. That's up to the audience.
True. We need to ask meaningful questions for the questions to be meaningful. My favorite question here from best friend Rob. Yeah, I think my answer to that, Rob, is yes. I'm gonna go with yes. Oh, really? Xiber's not excited about that.
No, there's a reason there's a toll patch there, and I'm not even the person who put it there.
I did that.
Another question from Rumor. Is that a question? That is a great question.
And then we got a question from Rob. It is now?
Is now?
Well, yeah, there was edited to have a question mark on it, so that checks out. I'm gonna say yes to that one.
Now
question from Xiber. Anyone have any actual questions they would like for us to answer? Oshi did, Xiber. Oshi had a question, yes, which we did answer earlier.
Oshi also reacted with a wheeze face.
I see that wheeze face. Cool. Now it's time for everybody's favorite blah, 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 whatever it is that Xiber says.
Now it is time for the recap of the Minish.
Ooh, Minish recap. This is not a good... I'm looking at our document. There is not a lot here for the Minish recap, Xiber.
No.
It's almost like we haven't done anything this past week.
All I've done is sleep and work.
Same.
And go to chiropractor appointments.
I've actually done a lot, and all of it was boring.
So you played board games?
No. I went and did an inventory for the convention that I work. I went shopping in the Pittsburgh Strip District, which is like the... whatever, it's like some sort of shopping district, I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
And, most excitingly, Wednesday as of this recording, I went to see a stage performance of Murder on the Orient Express. It was a very good show, Xiber.
It sounds good. I still need to watch the movie.
Well, which movie?
Murder on the Orient Express.
Which Murder on the Orient Express?
The latest movie. That came out past year, I think.
Yeah, the Kenneth Branagh. By the way, that was 2017, so it was definitely not the past year.
Oh, well, the past 3 years don't count.
It was still 2017, which is further back than the past 3 years.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page.
I don't believe that is true. Maybe came out earlier in Pittsburgh.
Well, in 2017, I was in Las Vegas. It was a very good presentation. The stage play was great. The O'Reilly Theater, which is where the Pittsburgh Public Theater put on the performance, it has a rotating stage set up. So that's always fun.
The movie didn't get that great of reviews.
That's unfortunate.
I'd still watch it.
Yeah, I mean, Kenneth Branagh's pretty good. Bernard? No, that's wrong. I had actually never... I'm familiar with the concept and idea and etc. of the Murder on the Orient Express and the general, mystery novel blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
But I had never actually seen Murder on the Orient Express, so like I knew how it ended, but not the way in which it ended, or I knew the way in which it ended, but not how it ended. I'm not sure how to exactly express that. I knew what the ending would be. I didn't necessarily know how we would get there or what the details in particulars of said ending were.
Okay. Were you able to just follow along the tropes that, were troped from the thing itself?
Yeah, the tropes that were created in this actual story that came out originally published in 1934.
It was a great story, but it's just so predictable. Everything has just been done before.
Yeah, Simpsons did it. Yeah, I was able to follow along. Although it did make me really want to sit down and rewatch Knives Out, because that's just a very good film.
A friend told me that he watched it recently. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. And I also a little bit kind of wanted to rewatch Clue, even though I did rewatch that within the past couple months. There
was a point where my friend was doing a one-shot D&D campaign where we were all coming to this guy's funeral, and so my character was Ransom. Literally.
Oh, literally based off of Ransom from Knives Out?
Yeah. No one but Haley and me got it.
Now, what was the name of this character?
Ransom. It was a picture of him as the
thing. You did nothing to hide
it. No. That was so great.
That's so good. Well done, Xiber. I applaud.
I was just like, I make people believe that I'm the killer.
Spectacular.
Just make people hate my guts so much.
I have run in the past a murder mystery one-shot that I wrote with Rumor that we would run, co-joined. That's not the right word. Co-GM'd. There we go. Yeah. Which I have been wanting to actually sort of dust that off and touch it up a little bit and run it for the tabletop RPG club that is part of the Bombers Discord.
Yes, that's a new one.
That would be fun.
I have a friend who wants to record us in a podcast thing for a D&D. I was just like, yeah, I'll take part in that. I can't guarantee it's going to be any good, though.
Yeah. I've been actually on the side, speaking of Admiral from earlier, we've been doing recordings bi-weekly of a zombie tabletop game that he's going to be editing down and doing as a live play podcast. We're just waiting until we get enough backlog for that to actually, go live with it. But that's a thing to look forward to as a side project. It's not technically Bombers related, other than the fact that I'm in it.
Yeah. In his, I'm going to be a kobold named Dag.
Dag. That's a good kobold name.
Yeah, because I was just looking at, what are kobolds named? And they're like, it's just short, sweet names. And I loved going through the name generator thingy, and sometimes it would pull up, Dan or Matt. I'm just like, that's regular names.
Those are just names.
Like, that's the one.
I had a kobold in a D&D campaign that I was running for a while, and I his name was Keith or Kevin or some boring normal name like that. There's something that just tickles my fancy about being in a fantasy world with the whole Eris and Bob effect, the weird fantasy names, and then just Bob, Steve, Jim. I love having just normal names sort of sprinkled in there.
So I'm gonna be a barbarian, which is
a barbarian kobold.
It's pretty cool because it's basically the first time I've been a physical fighter. I've been a monk, but they also have
they're weird with their key points.
It's about time I'm a physical fighter since everyone else is a magic user.
Isn't a kobold a small creature?
Oh yeah, 2 to 3 feet tall, 25 to 35 pounds.
Yeah, and in the rules of the game,
small. I'm gonna be just a raging little lizard guy.
It's either going to be hilariously ineffectual or just terrifying.
Just whoever might also have strength, just throw me.
Curveball special?
Yes.
Or fastball special, technically. I don't know why I said curveball. Fastball special.
Yeah, that'll be my Sunday nights now, whenever that starts.
Nice. We'll still be doing Survival Sundays on Sunday nights.
Yeah. Aren't you, or,
So,
no, wait. You're still doing the dragon stuff or dinosaur stuff.
what? Oh yeah, we're finishing up Ark right now. We're about roughly 2 weeks away from completing that because we've only got a few boss fights left, and by a few I mean like 2. It just depends on how good or poorly those boss fights go. If we can roll into the next one, but that shouldn't be too hard. And then we're still trying to nail down the next game. It's probably going to be a short run of 7 Days to Die, the zombie game, and waiting for Pulsar: The Lost Colony to go on Steam Summer Sale if we get lucky. And then we'll be doing that, which is basically not quite survival game per se, but it just seems really fun, and you're basically playing as a Star Trek crew going through space with a cast of 5 players: the captain, pilot, science officer, weapons officer, and engineer, which each player needs to learn their respective roles and work together to keep the ship from, dying, I guess.
Nah.
So that's, knowing our group, that'll be dysfunctionally
Why did we
entertaining.
explode? Oh, because it felt like it.
Because someone wasn't doing their job. Engineer.
Like we're waiting on one person to finish an Among Us. Just like, come on, what are you missing?
we're dying
I got all
here.
my stuff done 10 hours ago.
I got all my stuff. Oh, you know what? No, I missed one. You. And we haven't played Among Us in a long time, actually.
We haven't been able to get big groups for it, so it's not as fun.
That's
like the last time we played, there was like
that's
5 of us, and that was pretty pathetic.
It's more fun when you have at least like 8.
10 is the best.
And they opened up 10 is great, but they opened up the lobby size where you can get even more than 10.
Which I'd rather we play on the airship for that, because that's a big stage.
Well, it's such a big map. But in order to do that, we can't even fill out a lobby of 10, let alone more than
that's
that.
when we got, Admiral and other people from other servers to join in.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of legwork to get
Especially
groups
now that
together.
they don't care anymore.
However, the longer we wait, the more likely it becomes that someone will be like, yeah, sure, I haven't played that in forever.
Years. So I don't want to play that game. It's just a stupid meme now.
7 years.
So anyway, I watched like the newest 6 episodes of Young Justice with Haley last Wednesday, because they're coming out again.
Yeah. You know what else I'm excited about that's coming out again in the same vein is the return of the X-Men cartoon. So how was the Young Justice reboot, or not really reboot, but revival, I guess?
Well, like it's the next part of season 4 of Young Justice, so it's always just been a continuation. The issue I have is just that this season has been like not that great to me.
No, why
They're
not?
all like, let's focus on the main cast from the original season. And it's like, oh, okay. And it's like, let's have a lot of trauma and PTSD get brought up. And it's just like, well, they've already done that past seasons, but let's make it the only focus, basically. And also, like, there's barely any, like, villain plot continuation going on or anything. So it's just like...
slow? Is it slow now?
It's so slow. Like, they basically have, like, 4 episodes for a little arc. When, in the past seasons, it would take 1 episode to do
a
that.
whole plot.
Yeah. Like, there was only a few times where they would have 2 episodes to do an extended plot. Instead, it's just like, alright, we're 4 episodes in, time to figure out what the next plot is, because I was getting bored of that one. Like, one of the latest ones involved Atlantis and being underwater and stuff, and literally the time was months that this plot was going on in. Months. It's
months
like
in game? Or,
in the show, in the universe. It was months that they were doing this stuff, and it's just like, that doesn't even make sense.
You do know they're superheroes, right?
Yeah. Well, like, so basically, they're like, there's some prophecy about a new king arising to take over the entirety of Atlantis, and so like a person shows up to possibly be that new king, and all the civilians are like chanting his name and stuff, ready to riot, and then it goes to the next cutscene. Or scene, and it's just all like, it's been weeks since this. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's been weeks of
But
people
why?
chanting this person's name repeatedly, basically coming to a standstill in society. That's not how that works, guys. It would
But
not
why?
be weeks before they
Did anything?
did anything. Yeah.
Also, like, the art of episodic content, like, that's what was great about, you know, Justice League and Young Justice and Justice League Unlimited and all that, is that they told larger story arcs over multiple episodes, but each particular episode was still its own self-contained episodic adventure.
Yeah. And so, like, they've been giving excuses as to why, like, certain deaths and stuff happening now is causing such issues, as just, we've all dealt with so much, like, we all have a breaking point kind of stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
they've already gone through PTSD and stuff. I'm completely fine with them having new, fresh wounds and such, but oh my gosh.
You know, PTSD just doesn't go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, and there's something to be said about the change between actual, like, cable weekly release type stuff versus the current trend of streaming, where they want to release things bingeable, where they want you to be.
Well, with this, if actually, like, when it's regular going, it's usually one episode a week, I believe.
Yeah, but even then, they still haven't, and by they I mean just like production companies in general, still quite have not figured out how to do that on streaming. Because, like, some of the other things that I'm thinking, like Mandalorian hit it correctly because it's all episodic, but like Book of Boba Fett, like, was bad with that.
The show that apparently the people in it didn't realize it was a Boba Fett show.
Yeah, for among other problems with that. But, like, you know, that show tells basically a complete story in those 6 episodes. It does not tell a complete story in any one particular episode. So watching it on weekly releases was, you come back to it and you have to sit there and go, hey, what happened a week ago? I don't even remember.
Well, that's when they show the entirety of the last episode in the opening section, so you do remember. That's like what
basically.
That's what Halo's been doing. It's like, I've only seen 3 episodes, but I've seen them twice, basically.
Ugh, I still have not gotten the just wherewithal to sit down and watch Halo.
I mean, you might as well just wait until it's all released, which
That's
it might be
kind
for
of
all
what
I
I'm
know.
doing. That's also what I plan to do with the Moon Knight show on Disney Plus.
Well, that one
I'm just
should be
gonna-
done like a week or 2, I think.
Yeah, we're real close to the end, so I can binge my way through that one.
Yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes of that, so I need to catch up.
Yeah. Well, when the final episode drops, let's both sit down and binge it so we can talk about it on the show.
I'll probably have time tomorrow to watch it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna wait until the final episode's out.
Well, it's fine. We can wait to talk about it until then. It's just that that'll be easier for me to catch up to it if I watch it tomorrow.
Fair point. And yeah, that's it. Been playing more Lego Star Wars. I got nothing. I don't know.
Play more Final Fantasy 14 with us, guys.
Yep.
We're all getting up there. Dag, you need to play more. You need to catch up with us.
You can poke me on days when I'm free to play.
I don't know what days those are. Clearly not Mondays.
Days that not Mondays, and not days that there are streams scheduled.
So Wednesdays.
So yeah, mostly Wednesdays, Fridays, sometimes on Saturdays. That's it. That's my free time anymore.
Dang, I guess I could play that tomorrow too. I need to clean tomorrow though. Haley's gone, so it's like, yes, I can clean and do chores.
Clean. I actually have to go grocery shopping tomorrow. I've been
That's
real
gonna
lazy
take all
and have just
day.
been Well, I've just been lazy in ordering food, so it's gonna be a long grocery shop because I have to do like a month's worth of shopping when I normally try to do like weekly shopping.
It is
So
not.
I have
It is not fun doing big shopping all at once because it's just like,
no.
look at all that money I'm spending.
Well, not even just all the money, but then you have to like find everything, then you have to carry everything, then you have to put away everything. Then you realize you forgot something because there was so much you missed a spot on your list. And then you have to. I figure at some point you can just fade away my voice when I'm doing the end the way you have to, and we'll just end the episode there. Or you'll just put this as the end of it because who knows?
Yeah, you just keep talking